other side of me. The other side of me.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. This day has been a dream because my guest is someone I've known in the past, someone I admired so much, and he is the head of non-revenue water management group. He is the operations head of Visman area, and I'd like to call him, and I know a lot of people will agree with me that he is a water conservationist. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Ernie Delco.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for making me a part of your show.
That's always been a dream.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with this. I want this question good. What is the lesson or the best lesson life has taught you?
Oh, very tough first question.
Oh, very tough.
Lesson, all right. Actually, there are a lot, but maybe I would pick one, which is what my father told me or taught me when I was still very young. This is about rolling stone gathers no moss. So if you always keep on moving from one place to the other, you will not accumulate something. You will not accumulate whatever you want to accumulate. So the key is you find something that you love and you stick with it. You stick around for a very long time so that you can accumulate what you want to accumulate, whether it is material or spiritual, whatever it is.
Meron pala the first question, ladies and gentlemen, but very
For lack of anything
worthy.
else.
Oh, ito ay isang mapangahas na tanong.
Ano ba yan?
Ano ba yan? What was the reason? Because you had a good job.
Oh, right.
Everybody was envious of your job.
Mhm.
Everybody was telling, wow, kanindot og trabaho ni Sir Ernie. But what made you?
What was your job?
What made you transfer to a new
Yeah.
job and
Uh,
left that job that you had in the past?
I guess that will be the final question today.
No, that will not be the final.
Yeah, for those who do not know, yeah, Marge was correct because I was already
General manager.
for the second largest water company in the Philippines.
And that is MCWD.
Water district in the Philippines because there are other water companies aside from the water district. Well, it's a very tough question to answer because
Yung pwede lang i-share. Yung
a lot-
pwede lang i-share.
a lot of my friends also asked the same question. Actually, I did not really answer them completely, right?
Now is your chance. Now is
On
your
the
chance to
spot.
know.
Okay. Now I would like to begin with I would like to begin by saying that when you're in the government, there are so many beautiful things on the side, on one hand, but on the other, you
Not
can
so
imagine
beautiful.
there are so many handicaps. I don't know if my friends in the government would agree, but when you talk about the water district operations, it is water service, right? So water service is there 24/7 and it should not stop. But if you are under government rules and regulations, sometimes you have to stop. Why? Because you start with procurement. Whatever you buy in the government, you have to undergo bidding, no? Except for some exceptions. But most of the time, you have to do government procurement procedures. All right. Otherwise, you will go to ombudsman or COA, and so that is one handicap for me. Compared now, when you're in the private company, if you want to buy something, you buy it now. Okay, you can buy it today if you want. If you need it,
You can have it now.
you can have it. No? In the government, you
You have
have
to
to
wait for it.
undergo the government circuitous procedure because the laws are made not for one but for all, right?
Yes.
And you know, the crafters of the law know already that, you know, if you make it lax, the laws or the regulations, everybody will just do what they want. Okay, so the laws are there and it's okay. But as far as improving or uh, putting your water district in a higher level, it's kind of hard. So that's one. The other one is the other regulations like COA and Ombudsman. So you cannot really think outside of the box like other people do in the private sector, right? Because you have to be guided by doctrines, you have to be guided by rules. Okay? And I could imagine that, you know, I was already like 1 year and a half there in that position. Pero my feeling was whatever I do,
It was not enough.
it's like banging my head against the wall and not getting anywhere. Can you imagine the feeling? No?
So, is it really true that it's lonely at the top?
No, it's not. I have so many people to talk to, you know. In the government, you have, wherever you go, you can have a lot of assistance, right? The government, mag-ilog pa nagtimplan mong kape, right? But the thing really is you cannot do what you need to do as fast as you want it to be done because of these handicaps.
Now I know.
So my friends are, you know, they don't understand that, oh, you just got promoted last year and now you are leading. You know, I still remember my office mates, once they knew that I was leaving, and it was timely because it was my birthday, they held a very, you know, surprising kind of event for me, that from the ground floor in the morning up to the fifth floor in my office, there were people greeting you and with flowers, something like that. And then you go to the hallway, long hallway, and then all the departments there are greeting you. And then when I came to my office before 8 o'clock in the morning, my office was closed, right? So I had to open my office, and there they were already. A lot of people. They were crying, they were opening flowers, cakes, etc. etc. So
When
I
you
cried.
thought of it?
In fact, I cried. No, they did not know it, but I went to my toilet room and then I cried.
What were your thoughts when you cried?
I was thinking that maybe I should not leave because that was like 3 months before I left. So I was already doubting my decision because people love me and we can do a lot with, you know, when your people love you, they will cooperate with you, you can do a lot. But on the other hand, I was thinking of the handicaps that I was telling you about. When we joined the company back in 1989, we were losing, because water companies have water losses, right? Just like the power companies, they have systems loss. No? In the water companies, we have this so-called water loss. Sometimes they call it non-revenue water. No? So part of the non-revenue water is actually the water loss. So you're losing water every day. In the case of Metro Cebu, in 1989 when I joined it, can you imagine we were losing 48%?
Why is that so?
Because of leakage and other factors. So there are many other factors, but leakage is maybe
But
the.
where does our water come from there? We get
Yeah, I
it
will
from-
tell you about it,
sige,
but
tell me.
I will continue. No?
Okay.
So when I left in 2015, bali 26 years after I joined, you know what's the water loss level of that company? 22%. So yeah, and so we were improving actually, but we wanted to bring it to the next level. For example, we want to bring our water loss to 15%. But I thought to myself, maybe I could not do this anymore because 22 down to 15% needs a lot of, you know, discarte, no? You need a lot of out-of-the-box ideas. You cannot just replace your pipes because to replace all your pipes will probably need billions, not millions. So we were improving, but not to the extent that I wanted to as their leader at that time. No? So where are we getting the water? Okay, very interesting. In Cebu, we have this.
I'm just curious about it.
In Cebu, because when you talk about Metro Cebu Water District, they are supplying actually Cebu City, Mandawi City, and all the other cities 4 cities and 4 other municipalities, no, up to Talisay in the north, and up to Talisay in the south, and Compostela in the north. So right now, I think they are supplying something like 230 or 240 million liters a day. So they are getting most of it from the ground. When you say ground, it is actually underground, no? That's the terminology. When you say groundwater, it's actually underground. So you have to drill it and then pump it out. No? And some water also comes from the river. So we have Carmen River, Luyang. You heard about it, no? So when you go to Safari,
Yeah.
you will see the plant, no? It's actually a bulk supply project. The other one, the other river is Mananga River, although it's like a mestizo kind of supply because you still have to bring it down and then pump it up. So water from the river, you divert it, bring it down, and then pump it up. So it's kind of crazy, right? You bring it down and pump it up, but you bring it down
Why?
because
What's the purpose?
because there's a natural reservoir below.
You have to place it in.
God made reservoir as big as 3 million cubic meters. So you bring the water down, let it sit naturally, and then pump it up. Why do you have to put it down and bring it up?
Question,
So
yeah.
you put it down because there's a natural filter, right? And then you pump it up. So when you pump it up, it's already a finished clean water. So when you get, this is, for example, you have a river, no? You get water from the river. You still have to process it, no? So there's a lot of processing that is going to take place before you can drink the water. But
Yes.
in Mananga, you just bring it down, pump it up, you can drink it. So it's just chlorination, no?
Yeah,
After
the
that, you
beauty.
can drink it, right? So,
Beauty of it.
and then the other one is desalination. We have a little plant. They have a little plant because I'm not anymore part of that. So they have 5,000 cubic meters or 10,000 cubic meters, which is a little bit salty, but they process it and then deliver it. So groundwater, surface water, and a little bit of reverse osmosis, no, in Mactan.
So this one, why do you consider yourself as the water conservationist?
Yeah, because what we do is actually controlling or bringing down the water loss. When you drink this kind of water, it comes from the faucet. There is a lot of minerals, right? But when you drink it from the demineralized source,
It's the one that you bought.
very
the one
less
that we are
mineral.
buying.
Yeah. So
The one we are
maybe
calling
it's-
mineral water?
Yeah, it's clean but less minerals. So and the minerals are the minerals that your body needs every day.
How are you as a boss?
Oh, wow.
How are you as a boss?
Maybe you can ask my people.
But you, but ikaw lang mo nag-gauge. Sa ko nga pagka.
But okay, I will put it this way. I am very I am very gentle to the hardworking, but I am very hard to the non-hardworking.
I know you travel a lot, especially before pandemic, di ba? How many times you travel in a year?
Before the pandemic, it's like 100 flights a year.
The minimal na ha, mananay
Yeah,
pinakagaman.
yeah.
But how do you balance work, being a dad, being a husband?
It's very tough, no? Because I used
What do you
to
mean
be
by tough?
I used to be in a company where I don't necessarily travel, maybe once a month or once every 2 months, so I don't have to leave home. While in my current job in Prime Water, before the pandemic, so every week I go out. I go to Manila and all other cities that we are handling. So it's very tough because if the meeting is Monday 6 o'clock in the morning usually is the meeting. So it's either I leave home Sunday afternoon or I leave in the morning of Monday. So
And it
both
means you
of
have to
them,
wake up early.
yeah. So both of them are problematic. No?
What?
The Sunday, when
It's a
I
family
leave on Sunday, it's a family day, and when you leave your children and your wife when they are
Looking forward
enjoying,
for a Sunday.
yeah, Sunday, and then you leave at 3 o'clock because your flight is 5 o'clock. You're not going to wake up early, right? But the trade-off
You miss
is
out. You miss out.
them.
You miss out the
Because the
family
family
bonding.
day is still continuing and you are not there anymore. No?
Yes.
But sometimes I opt to wake up in the morning on Monday to catch up my flight at
Flight.
4 o'clock. So I have to wake up at 2 o'clock. So, perting lisura. Because when you want to wake up at 2 o'clock, when you used to wake up at 5 or 6,
That's a
kailangan
good
matulog,
adjustment.
kailangan matulog ka og 7 in the afternoon, in the evening,
Which one
no?
is better for you? Live on a Sunday or live on a Monday?
Both of them are bad. If not for the water conservation, both of them are bad. Bad for your health, bad for everything.
Okay. How were you as a daddy?
Ah,
I have seen you. I have seen you how
It's-
close you are to your
it's
kids.
very easy to answer on my side because
Are you a cool dad?
I always love my family and my children, of course. But
Are you a
if you
cool
ask-
dad? Doobie and I guys
cool
watching?
dad.
Or they are watching?
I'm pretty cool.
Oh, how
Yeah,
cool is cool?
But it's going to be argued by my daughter and my son because
Yes.
if you ask them,
Okay. But
si
for you,
dad
you
sa
are cool.
puton si dad sa puton and iniguang style and
Are you moody? Are you a moody daddy?
yeah,
Really,
that's a
Dad?
bad side of it.
Oh, I never mind. But how do you show that? Oh, kaniya, I mean, not in the mood. So how do you do that at home?
When I am not in the mood,
Yeah.
I call my people.
Really?
You know, nowadays, the kids and the parents have different relationship, right? Maybe 30 years ago, it's different.
How are you as a husband?
My wife is coming, so
Oh.
she will answer that. But as a husband, I do not give flowers.
Really?
The reason for that is she doesn't like.
It's not you
But,
who don't love you.
I always,
Did she
think-
tell you that I don't like flowers?
but I think she also thinks about me. So, well, anyway, just kidding. But you know, a relationship is very tricky, no? But you have to do your part. Maybe not so perfectly, but what is important is you are getting there, right? You love each other, so you think about each other. That's it.
How do you make Soyo when she gets mad at you?
That's the most
Because you
problematic.
don't like to give
Yeah.
flowers. So how do you do that?
That's the most important question because I don't. It's very hard to make suyo.
Yeah.
If you're angry with your spouse, especially in our case, we don't talk for a very long time, like the whole day.
Okay.
No, just exaggerating, but maybe.
Because
maybe
you're busy and she's busy.
If we are not in the mood and nasilo, no, nasilo, maybe it takes at least a couple of hours.
Okay.
But I'm always the one who will
Say
patch
sorry.
it up, right? Not really sorry, but I'm the one who finds a way
To stop
make
that,
up, right? But it's arguable. It can be disputed later on.
Oh, chicas. Okay, may mahihingi pa ba ang isang kaibigan ko sa buhay? Do you still have aspirations and the things you love to do? Or we are in the self-actualization stage na I'm okay with what I have, I'm okay with the family that I have?
I also tried to ask that question for myself, but at my age now, at 55, maybe in terms of being thankful that I have done something and I have reached something in my life. You know, I came from a very poor family. A poor state which you cannot imagine. But at my age, I would say that God gave me things that I do not imagine I could get. In fact, I don't deserve some of them. But in
But
terms of
God gave it to
aspiration,
you.
yeah, in terms of aspiration, I think I still want to pursue more of water conservation. In fact, I have a lot of things to do that I wanted to do right now. I want to do what you are doing, right? But my wife always discourages me because, you know, that's not a job for you. You are not good in there, something like that. Even my kids, no? But I love to do what you do. And also building buildings. That's because I'm a civil engineer, no? I haven't yet built buildings. So you develop a property and then make it good, and then, you know, you can do a lot of things for that, no? And aspiration, I think the most important thing that I still have to pursue is this water conservation thing. Because this is good for the Mother Earth, this is good for your children, for your children's children. So this is kind of my passion of it. Even if you don't pay me, better if you pay me, but even if you don't pay me anymore, I will still continue that advocacy.
Wow. It's something, ladies and gentlemen, it's something to be admired for someone who is really thinking of the welfare of Mother Earth. And that's Mr. Delpo. What would you like to tell to your two kids?
Yeah, Aika and Dobby, they are great. Of course, in the house, we are just always kidding each other, right? Because my kids are very humorous, and Dobby for one is a silent type, but when he cracks joke, it's very apt and timely, right?
Yes.
But
Yes. The frog thing,
Yeah.
Dobby, you remember that?
But by the way, the one I'm talking to is used to be the mentor of my kids back in Southwest.
It flatters
One
me.
of the best. So going back to Dobby and Aika, I'm very proud of them because Aika is a DOST scholar in San Carlos, and they were able to get a slot in Normal University after Southwestern. You know that, and then also in Science High School, both of them, and they are just quiet, silent type, but I'm very proud of them. They did what I probably could not do when I was still young. So I pray that they can reach their dreams and do something for the society, not for themselves, not just for themselves.
It's always been a cause.
Yeah.
You do something for a cause. What would you like to tell to Mommy Jen?
Wow. I always tell her maybe a million times about the things that I'd like to tell them to make her happy. But on cam, I would say, Jenny is always doing a good job in the Metro Cebu Water District. She's still there. She's actually the manager of commercial group, and that group has like 3 departments merged together. So she's kind of busy right now. That's why probably she can come. It's good, but maybe she cannot come anymore. And now she is actually in the period when she is already contemplating about retiring, because she has been there for like almost 30 years in the government, no? So and then her job is kind of heavy because she is carrying what used to be 3 departments now
merged into one.
no? So it's very busy and for her, no? So, but I make it a point na we always go out on the weekend, no? On the weekend.
Without
in fact,
kids?
Sometimes, but most of the time we have
You have a
the
date.
kids tag along. No? So last time we went to the mountains
I've seen that.
in Adlawan.
The one with vegetables.
Yeah. And she used to hate vegetable farms, but now she loves it. No? So yeah, and I wish her good luck in whatever decision she makes in the near future as far as her career is concerned. But I guess once she finally decides to retire, I think she won't anymore look for another job. I think lang. No? Unlike me, after I retired, I still do what I do. Yeah.
That's for you, Mom Jen. Okay. Now, I'm so happy that after many years, we've seen each other, and I have seen how you grow as a person. Ladies and gentlemen, I used to call him Dad in school. Pero
Up to
karon,
now.
up to now. But I'm so happy because you do things with a purpose, and you are not just doing things, you do it greatly. And I'm so happy because you do it well. I'm so happy.
Thanks.
Thank you for this afternoon, Daddy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's also an honor, no?
Of course, it's an honor.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll see you all again for another episode of The Other Side. Bye, everybody.
The other side of me.